troops at the front and sang battle songs on the radio. Robeson was also a defiant activist. He gave free concerts for left-wing unions and progressive causes. He refused to perform in roles that demeaned African Americans. In 1945, he headed an organization that challenged President Harry Truman to support an anti-lynching law. That year, the NAACP awarded Robeson the Spingarn Award, its highest honor. He was an outspoken critic of European and American imperialism and a strong supporter of nations in Africa and elsewhere seeking to unleash themselves from the yoke of colonialism. He embraced the Soviet Union, which he believed had done more than his native country to battle racism and anti-Semitism. Ironically, Robeson also played a key role in paving the way for Robinson's breakthrough. In 1943, he led a delegation of prominent African Americans, including the owner of major black newspapers, who met with baseball commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis and team owners to demand the sport's desegregation. The time has come when you must change your attitudes toward Negroes, Robeson told them. Because baseball is a national game, it is up to baseball to see that discrimination does not become part of an American pattern. Robeson was also a sports star and activist. Born in 1919, at UCLA, he was considered the nation's best all-around athlete, winning varsity letters in baseball, basketball, football, and track. He briefly played professional football, joining the military in World War II, before joining the military in World War II. In 1944, as a 25-year-old Army lieutenant at Fort Hood, Texas, Robeson was court-martialed for refusing a bus driver's order to move to the back of the bus. Arrested on bogus charges and put on trial, he was found not guilty and honorably discharged. After briefly playing baseball in the Negro Leagues, Robeson signed a contract with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1945, and 2 years later, broke Major League's long-standing color barrier. Robeson was reluctant to testify against Robeson. He didn't agree with Robeson's communist views, but he admired his lifetime of activism. I didn't want to fall prey to the white man's game and allow myself to be pitted against another black man. Let me say this again. Are y'all hearing me, black folks? I didn't want to fall prey to the white man's game and allow myself to be pitted against another black man. I knew that Robeson was striking out against racial inequality and in the way that seemed best for him. Branch Rickey, the Dodgers owner who had recruited Robeson, was a fervent anti-communist and reminded him that if he refused to testify, HUAC might subpoena him anyway. Robeson also felt a sense of responsibility to convey black Americans' loyalty. So on the morning of July 18th, Robeson and his wife, Rachel, flew to Washington, D.C., a city where first-class hotels were still racially segregated. On this occasion, HUAC waived its rule against media photographs. As expected, Robeson criticized Robeson, but it was far from the harsh attack that Wood and his HUC colleagues were hoping for. Instead, Robeson made an impassioned demand that racial integration and challenged America's hypocrisy on race relations. Regarding Robeson's Paris speech, Robeson said that Robeson has a right to his personal views, and if he wants to sound silly when he expresses them in public, that is his business and not mine. He's still a famous ex-athlete and a great singer and a great actor, according to Robinson. In contrast to Robeson's testimony, at the time, many Americans and certainly most HUAC members believed that communists did not have the right to express their views and hold jobs. Robeson insisted that blacks were loyal Americans who would do their best to help this country stay out of war. If successful, they do their best to help their country win the war against Russia and any other enemy. Robeson also challenged HUAC's view of black Americans' anger and activism was a result of communist agitators. According to Robinson, the fact that it is a communist who denounces injustice in the courts, police brutality, and lynching when it happens doesn't change the truth of his charges. Just because communists kick up a big fuss over racial discrimination when it suits their purposes, a lot of people try to pretend that the whole issue is a creation of communist imagination. In fact, Jackie Robinson insisted Negroes were stirred up long before there was a communist party. And they'll stay stirred up long after the party has disappeared, unless Jim Crow has disappeared as well. And that's our black fact for today. And if you'd like to sponsor Dynamic Black Facts, you can do so. Just call me up at 615-554-0568. I know some of you all may not know, they didn't cover Paul Robeson a lot. This guy was a fantastic orator, singer, athlete. You heard me read it. But there they were trying to pit a black man against another black man. You see, this country has been doing that for centuries. They pit black people against black people to keep us divided. We haven't figured that out yet. But I wanted to read that because it happened on this day. But there's a lot of things going on because, see, Jackie Robinson also didn't want to stand for the national anthem. Y'all didn't know that, did you? But now everybody embrace him. Even Major League has a Jackie Robinson Day where every player in the league wears his number. But wait a minute. Y'all hating on Colin Kaepernick. He shouldn't be doing that. There were a whole lot of Negroes that said Harriet Tubman shouldn't be freeing slaves. But look at you now. You're free. But again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. 855-525-5683 is the number. We want to interview our interns today. And a couple other things that we'll talk about in a little bit as well. But for this first couple of segments, I'm going to interview both Clayton and Jemiah. And we're just going to talk about some issues. And Robert, certainly you can throw your, any questions you have for them. You can jump in here as well. So let's start with eeny, meeny. Okay, no, I'm not going to use that. That's a racist thing, too. I'm not going to use that. You know that little nursery rhyme is racist, too, right? Robert, you there? Okay, all right. So, you know that eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a... Have you ever done that? That's, you know what? They said, most people say catch an engine by his toe. They've changed it to tiger. Okay, y'all changed it to tiger. It used to be catch an N-word by his toe. So, I personally don't use it, but anyway. So let's talk a little bit about you guys. So Clayton, you are from what high school?
From Parkview High School.
And what's your classification?
Drama major.
As far as junior, senior?
Yeah, I'm a senior. I'm on the drama side.
So you do drama?
Yes, sir.
So what part of drama are you involved in at Parkview?
In classes, we have to memorize scenes.
So you're revealing a little something you didn't. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we got to memorize scenes for plays. Sometimes we do movies and one-act plays. But mostly I'm behind the scenes doing like the production type stuff.
You're like a stage manager.
Stage manager.
Mm-hmm. So you don't actually. Are y'all gonna have a senior play?
Not for seniors, but it's a play. It's a spring play.
Spring play.
Yeah.
Okay. I know every year. I mean, we had to see spring, and it's kind of ironic. I was actually the stage manager for Little Rock Central. That's why I was surprised. I didn't know you didn't tell me that. I was actually a stage manager for Little Rock Central, and I think our senior play was Bye Bye Birdie by Hammerschmidt. I forgot who it was by, but that's how I was. What's your all play going to be, the spring play this year? You know?
We don't know this year, but last year was Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my first foray into mixing sound, running a board, was actually my senior year in high school when I was the stage manager at Little Rock Central. So that's pretty cool. So what do you want to do once you get out of high school?
When I get out of high school, I want to start my own business, or I would like to get invested in politics. I like history, and my mother and my auntie, they always instill politics in me. They used to make me watch the Daily Show, or I used to watch it with them when I was a real young kid. And Jon Stewart was real informative to me.
Funny but informative. I think a lot of young people your age learned about politics through Jon Stewart. I really believe they did, because he was political, but he was funny. He made you laugh. Do you watch the guy who replaced him now? I've forgotten his name. The guy from Trevor Noah. Yeah.
Yeah, I watch him.
Yeah, he's pretty good as well. I enjoy that. Do you watch a lot of TV?
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I keep up with it on my phone through YouTube.
Okay. What do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, I like drama, I like playing the game, I like watching a movie, watching basketball. I guess my favorite sport. And yeah, keeping up with politics. I really enjoy that.
Who's your favorite team?
In the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
whatever team we're going on.
Oh, you hear that, Robert? He's what? You a Bron hater? Is that what you are?
That's the GOAT.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say it like this. I'm not a Laker hater, but I am a LeBron lover. But my favorite team is the Philadelphia 76ers. I was hoping he'd go to Philly. What are you grunting for? Man, I'll tell you how I became a 76er fan. I am a Dr. J fan. So long before, back in the day, they had the NBA and the ABA. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Like, Dr. J played in the ABA. So I followed, and of course I followed a lot of ABA players, because let's see, George Gervin was an ABA player. Larry Keenan was an ABA player. There were quite a few of them. I want to say Moses Malone, Artis Gilmore, the A Train, all of those guys. When they transitioned to the NBA, and because I was an ABA fan of Dr. J more so than the New Jersey Nets, who he was playing for, I became a Philadelphia 76er fan. And that's how I've been. And I'm one of those people. I'm not a fair weather fan. I stay with my team. Period. Hey, we gonna win together. We gonna lose together. That's just how I am. I don't jump to a team just because, they winning, like some people do these days. Right, Robert? Well, and I can understand the disdain for the Lakers being a Sixer fan. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. So, oh yeah, I detest Boston just because I detest the city of Boston. So, I don't want anything good going in Boston. Period. And that goes back to a picture that I saw in my social studies book. I guess second or third grade. We've all seen it, where desegregation had began in busing, and white people in Boston were the most virulent about not wanting to have desegregation. And you remember the flag of the white boy who had the flag, who was stabbing the black man in front of the courthouse? You remember that picture? So ever since that picture, and I think I saw that picture when I was like second grade, it's amazing how a photo can color how you view something. And when I saw that picture, from that point on, I've hated Boston with a passion. I don't care what it is. The only thing that I eat from Boston is clam chowder. And that's it. But anyway, 855-525-5683. We are interviewing the interns today. So that's a little background on Clayton. Let's go over here to Jemiah. Jemiah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from McClellan High School. I'm going to be a senior next year. I like some of my hobbies. I like to do a lot of things. Oh wait, before I say that, after high school, I do want to go to culinary school, and because I like cooking. Some hobbies I like are cooking, of course. I like to dance. I like to draw and paint, and I like sewing. I like design clothes. I just recently started liking to do hair, and I want to get into like cosmetology and nails and things like that later on down the road. I actually do like editing. I want to go into that too later on after culinary school because I've always liked like technology and learning how to edit videos, music videos, movie shows, all that. So that's something I'm interested in.
Oh, by the way, one of our listeners, Latanya Grimes, says, yay, Parkview. So she graduated from Punkview. Did I say Punkview? I'm sorry. I grew up saying Punkview, so it just still kind of comes out. So I'm sorry about that. So you want to you want to go to culinary school. You like technology. That's a good thing. Let's see. Let's talk about a couple of other things. What do y'all think about what's going on with young people today? Let me give you an example that really bothers me. It seems today that young people, and maybe we've always been this way, but I was never one who followed the crowd, so I can say this. It seems to be that young people are more apt to just follow the crowd as opposed to standing alone. Give you an example. This new lick ice cream game. What do y'all think about that?
I don't really think most young people doing that. It's just people on social media that want attention. Like they're not getting it at home, so they gotta go on the internet and try to find people to pay attention to them.
Yeah, I think that's just something. I don't know. Social media can influence a lot somehow. I really don't understand why somebody would want to go with somebody else's food. But some people, yeah, they just want attention. They want to do things that will get them followers, likes. I don't know. It's just crazy.
So does it seem to you all, because I think you make a good point, does it seem to you all that these people are doing this stuff just for attention
Yeah, that's all.
more than anything else?
The retweets, the likes, the comments, that's what they're looking for.
So explain to me, because and you might need to explain to Rob, because he's an old guy. You know, back when he was growing up, they used to use the telephone, and they had string, and there was a cup on one end and a cup on another end, and they could only talk to people about 10 feet away. You remember that, Robert? You're so accommodating today. Explain to me about this thing about wanting to be liked on Facebook. Why is that a big deal? Why is that important to young people?
I don't know. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't really know why people feel like they need to be accepted by everybody because I mean it's nothing to just be yourself.
I think you just give people that dopamine in their brain, and you give them adrenaline. So seeing people fake like them and make them feel important, that's what gives them their value. And likes give them their value.
Y'all don't feel that way? When y'all post stuff on Instagram, you're not concerned about likes.
I be
I don't
chilling.
even post like
I will tell you that just working with you all for the last 4 weeks, it does seem that you all are pretty independent. That uh, that you all do stand alone, which is a good thing. If you could change one thing today, what would it be?
in
In
general. Like,
general,
I would change the president.
you change the president. Okay.
One thing. It could be anything, like, no matter how broad the
Yep. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
racism, just, I would change that. Like, I would just want to change how everybody thinks about other people. Like, everybody should be accepted, not based on who you are, what color you are, what clothes you wear, what shoes you wear. I just, I would change that. How people think.
How is it at your all schools as it relates to race relations?
Parkview, we got Parkview is very inclusive. We got a gay straight alliance club. We got we have a lot of it's a club where Parkview has a lot of gay people basically, and it's a club where they can feel welcome and feel at home and feel safe in their own skin, and they bring a friend in. A gay person brings a friend in, and it just it's unity between the people. We got a lot of we got black people, but we got a lot of Asian people, some white people, a lot of white people. It's the most diverse school I ever went to.
What about your school, Jamal?
Our school is mostly black. I mean, we have like we have some Hispanics. We have like maybe 5 white people. You know what I mean? We have great straight alliance for school. But ours we just talk about like how they fit, how everybody fits into the society based on their sexuality. Yeah, it's.
You just took the words right up. You just took that question right out of my mouth, Robert. Good question.
No, we don't really have like a black race.
So you all don't have a black student union or black
No.
anything like that?
No, and that's crazy since our school is mostly black people. You would think that it would be, but nobody really interested in it. I'm not.
We got I think at Parkview we got a club for black girls.
I'm curious because when I was in high school, we certainly had a Black Student Alliance. You go on most college campuses, they have Black Student Alliances. That just seems peculiar to me. What about your teachers? How do you don't have to get personal, but overall, do you feel like your teachers are there to help you move forward to the future, or are they there just to draw a paycheck?
Some of them, I mean, yeah, some of them are, but you can tell the ones that aren't. Like, they don't really care. They just give you a grade and move you along. They don't really care. But I do have some teachers that will like care about you and make sure you're okay versus, I mean, as of like your life, what's going on in your life, you know. They're trying to help you out as far as your grades, make sure you're staying on task, you're staying on the right path, you don't fall down the wrong path. There are some teachers like that, but it's not many. It's like it outweighs the bad.
I think at Parkview our good outweighs the bad. There's more teachers that actually want to see you succeed. They'll help you write your letter of recommendation. They'll come and ask you why you're not doing as well as I think you should. It's a lot of good teachers like that at Parkview, like Mr. Shep and Mr. Williams. Shout out to them. Yeah, it's real. It's really positive. It's a real positive learning environment at Parkview.
Oh, that's good to hear. How many black teachers do you have?
Did I have last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I had Miss Cunningham in 10th grade. She was my best teacher of all time.
Clay, you kind of smiled when you said Miss Cunningham. You need to tell us something.
Nah, she's just a real good teacher. She was she would teach Spanish, but she would also give us real life advice, real advice we could apply to the real world.
So, how many black teachers did you have last year?
Let me think. Mr. Bunton, that's one. I can't really think.
So, you did have black male teachers as well.
Yeah, he taught us algebra too. Shout out to him.
What about you, Jamal?
We don't have any black men. We don't have any black. Well, I didn't have any black teachers. I had a lot of black.
Are
I
they
had some black females.
other than football? Are there any black male teachers at McClellan?
I mean, I know Coach James.
Right, just Coach Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I can think of. Cause he's a teacher and a coach. So.
You say what, Robert? Yeah.
I go to McClellan.
Okay, so so you go to Parkview, you go to McClellan. Are y'all sad that y'all don't go to Little Rock Central? Don't answer that. I'm sorry, I had to just throw that in there. That was mean, wasn't it, Robert? Yeah. Go ahead.
No, well, I don't.
Say why.
Because, I mean, like I said, it kind of draws back to the teachers. Like, some of them really don't care if you're doing your work. They just, if you do what you do, if you don't, you don't. It's mostly that type of situation. I've even heard teachers say that. Like, but, I don't really feel like I'm getting quality mainly because the teachers, like, if you don't care, how am I supposed to care? But, some teachers I do feel like I can be quality teacher. Like Ms. Jemison, that's like my favorite teacher. She's my history teacher actually. She's why I started liking history.
Hang on, Robert. Let Clayton respond.
Oh, at Parkview, I feel like it's better than most schools, but the school district as a whole is messed up. Like the people that's over us, whoever run it, like they don't care. They just here for the check, and they not really concerned about learning. As long as they get their money, they good. They don't care about us.
Robert, you have some other questions? Go ahead.
I let the teachers have more say in what goes on in the district because those are the people that's actually in the classroom. Like the board, they don't know what's going on in the class. They went to private schools. They had to. They didn't come up like us, so they don't know how we are. Yeah, they can't relate to us. And the second thing, I don't know what you think, Jamar.
Some things I would do to, I would probably, the main thing at McClellan is they don't enforce anything. Like, they'll say one thing, but don't do it, I guess. But another thing are books, like, they so old and just crazy. I mean, a lot of them don't really care about school property, so sometimes we don't have enough books, sometimes we don't have enough laptops or computers to do our work sometimes.
I would probably, I mean, the main thing at growing is so sometimes we don't have enough books, sometimes we don't have enough laptops or computers to do our work. Sometimes I would probably, I mean, the main thing, so I would improve those things. Oh yeah, teachers. I feel like I would change like when you hire a teacher, I feel like they should be more harder on like the process of that because some of them don't really, I feel like don't need to, I'm not gonna say they don't need to be teachers, but they
don't care.
Yeah, they need to reality check, I guess. They need to figure out do they really want to be there because a lot of them don't act like they want to be there to teach us and help us improve and be better. I mean, well, I haven't.
That's 6 out of 10.
Every teacher, every couple, but from the ones I've had since I'm right here, percentage of the ones that shouldn't be there probably about a good 65.
Wow, that's 6 out of 10. And Robert, I think you make an interesting point with that because if you heard Jemiah mention the beat up books and not enough equipment, things of that nature. But if you're an excellent teacher, you make do, and you can make. And Robert, I think you make an interesting point with that because if you heard Jemiah mention the beat up books and not enough equipment, things of that nature. But if you're an excellent teacher, you make do. And you can and kids will learn. And I only go back to the 60s where all of those kids were being pumped out of segregated schools, black kids going on to great things and have went on to great things because there were teachers who cared about their disposition and their future. Yes. Clayton. Clayton. Yeah, and that's an excellent point because when you start talking about the devaluation of our children, and you're talking about the devaluation of the future, that's what people forget. That's why I always tell young people, I said, hey, I've got a lot more life behind me. Yeah, and that's an excellent point because up to you all, when you start talking about the devaluation of our children, then you're talking about the devaluation of the future. We too old. That's what people forget. That's why I always tell young people, I said, hey, I've got a lot more life behind me than I do ahead of me. It is up to you all. If you want this world to change, you guys got to change it. We too old. It ain't that I won't help. Ain't that I won't walk you through it. But you all have got to lead the charge. These old heads have got to get to getting, as far as I'm concerned. How bad is bullying in you all schools? So y'all call it roasting. Right.
And part of you, they don't really be bullied.
Right.
They don't be bullying, they just be roasting.
Yeah, that's like a mutual
So
thing.
when
Like,
Robert
they
be
know
dropping
it's
them
a
little jokes on y'all can really slam.
So y'all call it roasting.
Right.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that Rob, you need to be careful.
Like,
Right,
It's
right.
not a one-sided thing. Like, it's like a mutual understanding.
Right.
You know,
Y'all have him crying. He'll run.
So when Robert be dropping them little jokes on y'all,
They
y'all could really
talking
slam him
about
if y'all
me.
wanted to, right?
Yeah.
It's funny y'all call
You
it
hear that,
roasting.
Rob? You
Back
need to
in
be
the day,
careful.
We called it playing the
You know,
dozen. Yeah, we called it playing the
y'all have him crying. He'll run in his truck and start crying.
I mean, and
They talking
it's
about
kinda
me.
funny. And that was never bullying. but
It's funny y'all call it
amazing.
roasting.
And I
Back
think
in the
a
day,
lot
we
of this
called
has
it
come
playing
out
the
of fact
dozen.
That the other community and
blackish.
Dr.
Yeah, we
Conjucius
called it
talks
playing the
about this
dozen. You
history
know, mama
where,
jokes. Y'all have seen
a
those,
white teacher
right?
had never
I mean,
experienced black kids.
it's kind of funny,
came into the
and that
inner
was
city
never
to
bullying,
teach.
but it's amazing.
And the
And
black
I think a
boys
lot
were
of this
playing
has
the
come out of the
dozen.
fact that
And
the
she
other
was trying to
community,
get them
and
to stop,
Dr.
ended up
Kanjufu talks
sending
about
them
this
to
in
the
his
office
book,
and suspending
where
them and things of that
a white
nature.
teacher had never
Simply because
experienced
you
black
don't even
kids
understand the culture.
came into the inner city to teach,
You know? So
and the
I
black
find that
boys were
interesting.
playing the dozen. And she was trying to
So,
get them
while
to stop,
we're
and ended
talking,
up
since we've got so
sending
many
them to the
people listening,
office and
we haven't
suspending them and
asked
things of
Clayton
that
much,
nature,
but
simply because
we know that
you don't
Miss
even
Ivy
understand the
likes to
culture.
sew. Even while
You
she's
know,
been sitting
so
here in studio,
I find
she
that
has
interesting.
a pad and a pencil where she is drawing.
So while we're talking, and since we've got so many
New
people
fashion
listening, and we haven't asked
needs
Clayton
your
much,
help,
but
friends.
we know that Miss
Now,
Ivy
Jackie,
likes
I
to
wanna
sew.
thank you. You already sent
Even while
me
she's been sitting here in studio, she has a pad
old
and
sewing
a
machine
pencil
picture
where
that's
she
on
is
sale. I
drawing
reached out to the young lady.
potentially
She
new
said that
fashion
it
items.
might be gone by the time
She needs
we
your
decide whether
help,
or not we're gonna get it. But
friends.
the point
Now,
being is
Jackie,
this,
I want to thank you.
that
You
we
already
need to get a
sent me
sewing machine for Miss Ivy.
a
All right?
old sewing
We
machine
always talk
picture
about
where that's
how
on
we need to
sale. I
support
reached
our
out
young
to the
people.
young lady.
always
She
talk
said
about
that
what
it
they
might be
need to
gone by
do.
the time
Well,
we decide
you
whether or not we're
have-
going
and
to
look,
get
I'm gonna
it.
tell you,
But
these are
the
two
point
sharp
being
young
is this.
And I'm not just
That
saying
we
that
need
because
to get
they're
a
sitting
sewing
in front of me.
machine for
I
Miss
think they
Ivy.
probably know by now
All right?
that
We always
I
talk
won't
about
just blow
how
smoke
we
up
need
their
to
butts.
support our young
You know?
people.
Just by
We always
listening,
talk
they
about
probably
what
say, "Oh,
they
got
need
no
to
play."
do.
You know, but
Well, when you have, and
we
look, I'm
always
going to tell
talk
you, these are
about
two
helping
sharp young people.
what
And
young
I'm not
people
just saying
need
that
to
because
do.
they're sitting
Well,
here in front
sometimes
of
they
me.
need
I
some
think they
help.
probably know by now that
And
I
Miss
won't just
Ivy
blow
wants
smoke
to
up
be
their
a
butts.
fashion designer.
You know,
You heard both of them talk
just by
about
listening to me, they probably say, "Oh, that guy don't play."
We need to
You
try
know,
to get
but
the sewing machine for her.
we always
They're gonna
talk
be here
about
another
helping
week.
young people, what
I'd
young
love to
people
have
need
the
to
sewing
do.
machine.
Well, sometimes
It
they
doesn't
need
have to
some
be
help.
brand new. If you know of anyone
And
who has
Miss
a
Ivy
sewing
wants to
machine
be a
and would like to
fashion
donate
designer.
it,
You heard both of them talk about wanting to be
I
entrepreneurs.
may even be able to get you a tax.
We need to try to
deduction
get
on
this
that.
sewing machine for her.
Okay.
Now, they're going to be here
I
another
don't
week.
think- I
I'd
don't
love to
think
have this
JC
sewing
would be-
machine.
and I don't wanna
It doesn't
put
have
him
to be
on the spot,
brand new. If you
but
know
we'll
of
look at
anyone
trying to
who has a sewing machine and would like to donate it,
a 501c3 that
I
you
may
get a
even be able to get you a tax
if you
deduction on
donate
that as
a
well.
sewing machine to this young
Okay?
lady. She's a
I don't
sharp
think
young lady. She's
I don't
smart.
think
She's
JC would be,
intelligent.
and I don't want to
She's
put him on
trying
the
to move
spot,
forward.
but we'll
And
look at
just like
trying
you got some help
to
when you were young,
utilize
not other than just your mama.
a 501c3 that you can get a tax deduction
My
if you
pastor,
donate
my
a sewing
friends,
machine
my
to this young lady.
mentors.
She is
There
a
were people
sharp
along
young
the way
lady.
who
She's
helped push
smart.
me forward.
She's
In
intelligent.
fact, there were
She's
people on the
trying to
way that when I
move
had given
forward.
up, they would
And
still
look, just
push me
like you
forward.
got some help when
They
you
would
were
be the
young,
wind in
not
my
other than
sails
just your
because
mama.
my wind was out.
Because more
So
than
what
just
I'm
my
asking
mama
you
helped
all to
me.
do, if you're
My
listening
pastor,
right
my
now,
friends,
think
my
about it.
mentors.
Some of you,
There
I
were
know
people
sewing
along the
now
way
is a
who
lost
helped push
art.
me forward.
But
In
here's a
fact,
young
there were
lady
people
who
on the
wants
way
to
that when I
reclaim
had
that
given
lost
up, they
art
would still
and
push
become
me
a fashion
forward.
designer.
They would be the wind in my
y'all
sail
help
because my wind was out. So
Oh.
what I'm asking you
Now,
all to
Mr.
do, if
Clayton,
you're
what do you
listening
need?
right now, think about it.
Don't say
Some of you, and I know sewing now is a lost art, but here's a young lady who wants to reclaim that lost art and become a fashion designer. Won't y'all help her?
I do that.
I hope you
Hey,
will.
but they
Now,
say they
Mr.
don't
Clayton,
need
what do
much.
you need?
Hey, I've raised a couple of young folks.
Don't say
they
much.
need money. Y'all always need money. Now you're planning to go to UCA.
You don't mean much, so you need some money.
Okay. And I talked to you a little bit about this, and you're planning your first choice. Is
I do that. Hey, Hey, but they say they don't need much.
Chef, right?
Hey, I've raised a couple of young folks.
what
They
happens
need
if that
money.
doesn't come
Y'all always
What
need
are y'all
money. Now you're planning to go to UCA.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I talked to you a little bit about this, and you're planning. Your first choice is becoming
So you want to go to every
a
school
chef,
first,
right?
or you want to go to
Okay.
UCA first?
So what happens if that doesn't come through? What are y'all gonna do next?
Let me give you all a little advice. You're gonna take a trade. You're gonna go to
That's
college.
my
If you'll finish that culinary in about.
So you want to go to culinary school first, or you want to go to UCA?
By then, you could be making up to $50,000.
Okay. Let me give you all a little advice. You're going to take a trade.
Now,
You're going to go to college.
From an adult standpoint, that's not a lot of money.
If you'll finish that culinary
21,
in about
22 years old,
2 years.
That's a nice little check.
By then, you could be making
Now,
up
the
to
reason I'm bringing that
$50,000 a year.
Is because
Now that's
quite often
from an adult
we
standpoint.
wanna
That's
go
not a
college
lot of
and
money.
spend all that money. Y'all have heard
But by the
stories of
time
people
you
who are
21, 22
in
years
debt,
old, that's a
trying to pay
nice
for
little
college.
check.
Think about
Okay.
that before
Now
you
the
make
reason
that
I'm bringing
choice.
that up
Think about a trade school.
is
process.
because,
You've already done so. I'm not trying to discourage
quite
your
often,
choice, like, but,
we want to go to college
a
and
trade
spend all that
school
money.
might
Y'all
be
have heard the
beneficial.
stories of people who are
For instance,
in
if
debt,
you like computers, you can get
trying to
you
pay
go
for
to,
college. Think about that
trade
before you
school.
make that
2 years
choice.
you're done,
Think about a
you're out
trade
making
school possibly.
60,
You've already
70,
done so
80,000.
now. I'm not trying to discourage your choice, Clayton, but a trade school might be beneficial for you.
You need to start
For instance, you like
Robert, we're
computers,
gonna
you
take the top
can go
of the hour
to computer trade school. 2 years you're
When we come
done,
back, and by
you're
the way,
out
I
making
just wanted to
60,
interview you
70,
all. A lot of people have been hearing
$80,000
about you
a year.
guys. Of course, we
Okay.
posted the pictures on the other
Yeah, go
day.
ahead.
I
Okay, we
haven't
need
said
to
anything.
start the music. Robert, we're going to take the top of the hour break.
I probably wonder what he think about me.
When we come back, and by the way, I just wanted to interview you all. A lot of people have been hearing about you guys. Of course, we posted the pictures on the other day.
Miss Ivy, Mr.
I haven't said anything
and I'm proud that
pro or con about you all. Y'all probably wonder what he think about me. Or y'all probably don't care. But I wanted to put you all on the air because I think both of you all are excellent young people.
Any of your friends, like
Miss
you
Ivy
guys,
and Mr. Williams.
I think we're in pretty good
And I'm
hands,
proud
Robert. I
that,
really
see, there are a
do.
lot of people out there who want to
They just
say
need a little
that
help.
our young people ain't about
All right,
nothing.
so we're gonna take the top.
I've had the pleasure of
We'll be
spending
back in a
almost
moment.
5
It's
weeks
Black
with you
Focus
all,
Radio. Our
and I know
issues,
that you
our
all are going
solutions,
somewhere.
Our voices.
Okay? And if any of your friends are like you guys,
JohnNetRadio.com.
I think we're in pretty good hands, Robert. I really do. They just need a little help. All right, so we're going to take the top of the hour break. We'll be back in a moment. It's Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. Kill my mic.
Yeah, top drop.
On JohnNetRadio.com. Now kill it.
Disclaimer, open, and news.
This is my visual. Top drops.
Yeah, top drop.
Sometimes I'll do a stop set there, but
Disclaimer, open, and news.
You don't need to stop it.
No stop sign. Sometimes I'll do a stop set there, but we don't need to do one though.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
have you met our interns?
You need to do the yeah, and then go ahead and play the news after that.
Yep. They got one more week. Mr. Melvin.
Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation.
Have you met our interns?
Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-683.
Yep, they got one more week. Mr. Melvin?
Fade that.
All right, nice to meet you.
I'm Clay, so nice to
So I have to
Nice.
Get that news.
turn it up.
Yeah, well, good. You gonna have them coming in after the intern and do some extra stuff?
Yeah, if we can pay them.
Come on, we'll figure out a way. Talk to
Fade the thing.
Yeah, he does.
So I have
a show
the, this is her doing the news. Turn it up a little bit, Clay.
And one of them is called Teen Talk, where he talks to young people.
You need to come on and do our Teen Talk thing for us.
Yep, he does a show in the evenings, and then one of them is called Teen Talk, where he talks to young people.
Or young adult. You can do a periodic update on it. So
Come back to school.
We definitely want to want to try
What
to.
grade?
I'll be a senior.
Okay. Good. Well, we need to, I'll get with,
Right. And I'll get their numbers.
Okay. Well, we definitely want to try to keep them if we can.
Yeah. He's got the information on the contract information.
Right. And I'll get their numbers too, so before they leave. So. Okay.
So you're doing the news?
All right, man. Quit talking about it.
Yeah, they both. I've trained both of them.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of the show. 855-525-5683 is the number. We were just interviewing last hour. We spent the majority of the hour interviewing both.
All right, man. We'll talk to Mike. Get back to my show. All right, welcome back to the second hour of the show. 855-525-5683 is the number. We were just interviewing last hour. We spent the majority of the hour interviewing both Clayton and Jemiah, and then Melvin just wanders in, and he's impressed with him as well. So I'm going to tell you, folks, we hear a lot of negative stuff about our youth today, and I'm a firm believer that a lot of it is lies. And if nothing else, these young people here today has proven that's given us feedback, Melvin.
All right.
Now that you're adults.
If nothing here today, these young people over the last few weeks have proven to me that, hey, we got a lot to look forward to. We just have to be able to guide them. We got to be able to help them. If you look back on your lives, now that you're adults, I guarantee you there was someone in your life that helped you along the way. That wasn't your mama, and that wasn't your daddy, that wasn't your relative. Okay? Someone looked into your heart and said, hey, I like that young person. They're going to do something about their lives, with their lives. Let me help them. We all ought to be doing that. You all want to run around and claim about it takes a village, it takes a village. It takes a village to do what?
Lord knows we do.
Let's get this taken care of. So the bottom line is support our youth. Support them not because they're black, support them because they are the future of this country. And Lord knows we need a better future than what we're living in today. Lord knows we do. Okay? 855-525-5683 is the number. Robert, I want to talk a little bit about the ordinance that was recently passed in Fayetteville, and how does that relate to Little Rock?
Apparently this past week passed an ordinance that will decriminalize
make sure
marijuana arrests.
You're good, I think.
And
all right, good.
I guess it was about a year ago. We went down to the city.
Here's the bottom line on
and
this.
was asking
Fayetteville apparently this past week passed an ordinance that will decriminalize marijuana
chasing a kid that smokes a joint.
And I guess it was about a year ago we went down to the city board and was asking the city of Little Rock to do the same. Wasting resources,
and it's a major waste of resources
on police chasing a kid that smokes a joint, or a grown person to smoke a joint, especially in this climate when you got legal marijuana everywhere, is really ridiculous, and it's a major waste of resources. And obviously the board, and by the way, this proposal was brought up by Director Richardson, Ken Richardson.
Because you had a police chief coming there.
And it was surreptitiously shot down.
All kinds of weird accusations.
I mean, you might as well have been on the firing squad. They shot it down so fast.
I know of 2 cities.
Could have said, hey, well, let's do some study.
And it wasn't long
let's look at it. Let's table it so we can get some more information. But because you had a police chief coming there,
chasing people down
and make all kinds of weird accusations,
make that action.
They shot it down. Now, since then, I know of 2 cities here in Little Rock.
Do you think there's
and it wasn't long after Jacksonville saw the same thing and said, hey, we're not gonna tell our police to start, chasing people down for a joint. We're going to make that action. City of Fayetteville has done the same thing.
Say again, Robert.
Do you think there's a chance, Robert, that this could be re-entered? And what would be the results? Turn the monitor up a little bit. Say again, Robert.
You think it would still have the same results? And why is that when not? And by the way, it's just not Arkansas counties that's doing this. There are counties all over the.
You say you think it would still have the same results
that are decriminalizing this.
And why is that when not? And by the way, it's just not Arkansas counties that's doing this. There are counties all over the country, cities all over the country that are decriminalizing this.
New York, LA.
With my windows rolled up and the AC on.
You have to remember, a lot of police officers use this as part of the cause.
With my windows rolled up and the AC on.
With my windows rolled up, your windows rolled up, it's called a weapon violence. So a lot of police officers use this as part of the cause. Pull over folks. So in Little Rock, I don't know, I honestly can't say logically whether it's against it.
Right.
For me, it really makes no sense. I mean, the police department already came out and said, hey, we're already doing it. We're already doing it. Why is it out of the order? The police, I think that's how I'm fucking.
Right.
Bucky said, well, we're already doing it. We're already doing it. There's no reason not to support it.
So that speaks to our conversation yesterday about the lack, those 3 board members, those 3 at-large board members, again, standing in the way of progress. Oh, I know.
So
let's not
that
forget about
speaks
Doris.
to our conversation yesterday about the lack, those 3 board members, those 3 at-large board members, again, standing in the way of progress.
You gotta remember now.
Oh, I know. Let's not forget about Doris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Doris, right. I think the only person who voted
Now, the woman that
it was he and
she's a little bit younger than those others.
either him, Kathy Peck, or
Yes, Kathy Well.
Mm-hmm.
the young Alvin voted.
They're all in their 60s.
Now, the woman that you just mentioned, she's a little bit younger than those others, isn't she?
Right.
Yes, Kathy Webb.
No, they're all in their 60s.
They're all in their 60s.
With the exception of Black and Tom, they're the only 2. And I think Doris was in her 80s.
Right.
So with the exception of
I'm gonna tell you, Robert, that's the problem with that board.
Keenan,
I don't know how it could be fixed.
Lane, director
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look. I mean, you're an old guy.
I'm gonna tell you, Robert, that's the problem on that board. I don't know how it could be fixed.
But therein lies the problem. You know, it doesn't matter.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, look. I mean, you're an old guy and you're pretty progressive, so.
Man, I ain't said ain't nothing gonna change in this city. It's just not.
But therein lies the problem. You know, it doesn't matter who's in that mayor's seat.
Yeah.
As long as you have those guys, those people on that board with that mentality, man, I hate to say it, ain't nothing gonna change in this city. It's just not. Because when
you don't want anything to change.
that's an excellent point because I mean, clearly, look, I'm not a fan of Fayetteville. I never have been. I may have been in Fayetteville for an event maybe once in my lifetime, and I can tell you what that was. That was the 1978 football.
Well, that's an excellent point because I mean, clearly, look, I'm not a fan of Fayetteville. I never have been. I may have been in Fayetteville for an event maybe once in my lifetime, and I can tell you what that was. That was the 1978 football season when the Arkansas Razorbacks went to the Orange Bowl to play Oklahoma,
That's where
I
all
went to the
Razorback
SMU
fans
game.
brought oranges.
And that
every
was
time
when
the Razorbacks
every
would score,
and by the way, I ended up going because I was a
field
Boy
would be
Scout,
covered
and
with
we got
orange.
tickets,
I mean,
and they
the
gave
field might
our
as well have
troop
been orange. I
tickets.
kid you not.
And I remember that game so
SMU
vividly
that
because
weekend,
that's
like
where all the
42-7.
Razorback fans brought
So
oranges,
there were a whole
and every
lot
time
of
the
oranges being
Razorbacks
thrown
would
on that
score,
that was the last
the
time
field
I
would
ever
be
did
covered with
anything
oranges.
in
I mean,
Fayetteville
the field
as
might
far
as
as
well have been
activities
orange. I
is
kid you
concerned.
not.
And I say
And
all
they
that-
beat
I say
SMU that weekend like
even when you
42 to
look at
7.
Fayetteville, and you can probably
So
argue
there were a
that
whole lot of oranges
Walmart
being thrown
is
on that
funding a
field.
lot of stuff that's
That was the
going on.
last time I
But at the
ever
end of the
did
day, you
anything
still had
in
to be
Fayetteville
progressive
as
enough
far as activities
to
is concerned.
understand
And I
what
say all that,
Walmart was
I
going
say
to do
that,
for your city.
that even when you look at
Unlike
Fayetteville, and you
what
can
Little
probably
Rock,
argue that, oh well,
board members
Walmart is
were
funding a
when
lot of
Fred
stuff
Smith
that's
went
going
to
up there.
them and
But
tried
at
to
the end
tell
of the
them
day,
what
you still had to be
Federal Express
progressive
would do for your
enough
city. So,
to understand
so
what
I'm saying
Walmart
is
was going
that
to
the
do
board
for
members
your
or the
city.
city council or whatever they call
Unlike
themselves in
what
Fayetteville,
Little Rock board
apparently
members
there are people on that
were
board
when Fred
that are
Smith went to
progressive enough
them
to
and
understand
tried to tell them
how to
what
work with
Federal
their
Express
citizens,
would do for their
how to
city.
work with their
So,
community, their business leaders,
so what I'm
to
saying
make sure
is
that
that the
their
board
city
members or the city council
is
or whatever they call
transformed
themselves in
into
Fayetteville,
a place where people
apparently
wanna
there
come
are
and visit.
people on that
I hear
board
people now
that are
saying, "Man,
progressive
let's go to
enough to
Fayetteville for the
understand
weekend." I never heard
how
that
to work
growing
with
up.
their citizens,
But-
how to work with their community, their business leaders, to make sure that their city is transformed into a place where people want to come and visit. I hear people now saying, "Hey man, let's go to Fayetteville for the weekend." I never heard that growing up. But
I don't want people to come to go around the field. I want people to go around the field.
right, but they're going to Fayetteville to live too.
They are. But what's people are having to realize is because we have been, and this is what's important. So we have put so much emphasis on things. We want to have a great car. We want to have a great business. Nobody moves to a town to have a great business. Because people will give you talk about business, right? We want people to come to town and increase our tax revenue, right? And the way you have that happen is you improve your food, you improve your neighborhood, you improve your community, right? I mean, all the other things, that's why I have such a issue about the issue we talked about yesterday, about solar golf course and repurposing it to cars. While all these people talk about all this other stuff, if you really want to grow a quality city, you really want to have a quality city, you don't have a quality city by having great cars. You have to talk about having great people. And when you have great people, other people want to come and be a part of it. Right now, as you see in Fayetteville, I think Fayetteville and Denver are all those prime examples of making a community or making a city more friendly to people who want to move. You say, well, you got Walmart, you got all this. Well, guess what? We ain't got Walmart County. You got people moving to Conway, you got people moving to all these different places, Benton and Bryan. They're not moving there because the houses are cheap. They're moving there because they have a quality education system. They're moving there because they have decent amenities, right? Decent amenities. But the first thing that they look for is a great quality of life. I mean, you got a good school district, you got a good park, you got a good school district, you have a safe city. And by safe, I mean, you have crime, of course, but you don't have the kind of crime they have in Little Rock. You don't have a 600-man police force.
You need a little quality of life too. Come on, I know you don't like zoos and stuff. You hate the goldfish over there.
Right. Is that we have to have things, and we don't have to have things. All we have to have is good neighborhoods, good school districts, and good people.
You need a little quality of life too, man. Come on, I know you don't like zoos and stuff. You hate the goldfish over there.
It's not that I don't like zoos, but this is the money that we spend on making the zoo better, making the park, improving the park, right? That's great. But if you're not going to improve the city, if you're not going to improve the people in the city, then what's the point of doing all the other stuff? Because it's just, okay, so it's kind of like a chicken and egg, right? Which comes first? So if you look at cities that are thriving, look at the city like Brownsville, Texas, kind of the same size as Little Rock. They are thriving. You know why they're thriving? Because they have invested in their people. And not only are they invested in their people, they also have quality jobs. They have jobs. That's what they do. You gotta have jobs. Because, hey, if you want to get rid of crime, you gotta have good company. I ain't talking about these folks. I'm talking about putting folks to work. Right? If you don't have a comprehensive plan to address, you cannot address the problem. Because addressing crime is saying, you know what, we're going to address the problem. So, if you read the article, it says 78% of all crime are money crime. There must be some kind of crime where they can eat or get high or whatever it takes.
Well, you know, Robert, what I was going to say is that on Monday when the mayor was here, believe it or not, I think he's come to that realization that, you know, because I brought up the article that was in the paper last week, I think it was in the Arkansas Times, that stated that the majority of the homicides
Well, you know, Robert,
in the city of Little Rock.
what I was going to say is that on Monday when the mayor was here, believe it or not, I think he's come to that realization that, you know, because I brought up the article that was in the paper last week. I think it was in the Arkansas Times that stated that the majority of the homicides in the city of Little Rock have taken place right there in that 12th Street corridor.
But they're still
now the argument that I made to him. If we believe that more police stops crime, then you got a $12 million police station sitting right on Pine and 12th. You would tend to believe that all those murders would not be taking place over there. But they're still taking place. So we have, thanks to that article now, and those of you who at the city board on a regular basis, this should be your argument against hiring more police officers. We now have prima facie evidence that hiring more police does not stop crime. Now, Robert, we talked about it a lot on our show. You know, I'm yet to meet a police officer who stopped a crime. I meet them all the time who have responded to crime. But I'm yet to meet one who has stopped a murder. Okay? And
the fact of the matter is that it's there.
And the fact that you got that $12 million facility over there, that is, to me, I think, now that I did more research on it, from what it was supposed to be to what it is, I think it was a $12 million boondoggle, as far as I'm concerned. But the fact of the matter is that it's there. And it was there because what we were told, at least Little Rockans at the time, I wasn't here, were told that this will cut down on the crime in that area. We need to spend this money, and we need to hire more cops. Well, it ain't working. So somebody lying.
And you know what I think it is, Robert?
So
I think you've alluded to this.
I think, and the mayor said, he kind of realizes now that that's not going to work. Hiring more police does not solve your crime problem. We need to stop that lie. And this is not only going on here in Little Rock, but it goes on across the country. And you know what I think it is, Robin, and I think you've alluded to this, is that makes white folks feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Pull those down so I can see the time.
And it makes difference. Some white people so you catch it. I get that. What's problematic is there's always a problem.
Pull those down so I can see the time.
I'm not talking about education. I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about unemployment. It's true to have a conversation like this. You can't do it. Because it makes no sense. Okay, you can't. If you're hungry, you don't get out of there. If it's been breaking the law, so be it. You don't eat. But we don't have to process. And anytime we do have the conversation, it seems as if people are uncomfortable talking about real issues and real solutions. Because again, I mean, well, I think that, man, trying to do everything he can to, make Little Rock a better place to some degree. I feel that he really short-sighted in a lot of ways. And the biggest one is when it comes to addressing crime. Because if you don't have a plan for crime, if you don't have a comprehensive plan for crime that makes sense, that plan, again, does not include addressing poverty, not too deep, but by way of helping them. This is my comment. The school district has let folks down, right? Unfortunately, I see has let folks down. So, how do these folks let down? How do we bring them in and make them productive and give them an opportunity to do things they want to do? We have to figure out a way to do that. We have to
8-5.
And until we figure out a way to do that, we're going to still have the same problems. We're going to still have high poverty. We're going to still have high crime. We're going to have all these problems. Because every time we
855-525-5683 is the number. I want to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into this thing, and I just realized
8-5.
this article was written by Martellus Bennett. You know who Martellus Bennett is, right, Robert? Seattle Seahawks.
855-525-5683 is the number.
Linebacker.
I want to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into this thing, and I just realized this article was written by Martellus Bennett. You know who Martellus Bennett is, right, Robert?
In his house, full of black history, what he teaches his children.
Seattle Seahawks, former Seattle Seahawks.
And I'm going to read a little bit of it because
linebacker, and of course, his brothers in the NFL as well. Martellus Bennett is one of the players who said that he has a library in his house full of black history, what he teaches his children. And he's written an article, and I'm going to read a little bit of it because, I think we all get caught up in this, and I think, Robert, you were caught up in it a little bit as well. It's called Beyond the Game. We teach black boys sports is their only hope. What if we let them dream bigger? We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices on JoyNetRadio.com. Stop set. You can, hit a stop set. And then you'll come back with the theme.
Hey, I didn't know you had a business. Yeah, that can happen when you don't advertise. I have a solution for you. Advertise on Shorthand Radio and let the world know that you're in business. I know what you're doing. Advertising is so expensive. I've got a great package for you that will cut your expense and increase your bottom line. It's only $175 for startups or new businesses. Call me, David W. Coleman, 615-554-0568, and I'll put together a package specifically for your business. Now is the time to tell the world, hey, I'm in business. Come spend your money on quality goods in my store. Let us help you at JoyNetRadio.com. Here's the number. Call me, 615-554-0568. We are here to assist you in building your brand.
Hi, I'm attorney Gil Thompson from the Thompson Law Firm, and I want to help with your legal matters. Whether it's criminal defense, bankruptcy, personal injury, or family law, I want to help you. I can be reached at 501-503-5095. Don't face your legal issues alone. You need an attorney whose primary objective is providing you with the best legal representation. Our office address is 415 North McKinley, Suite 710 in Little Rock. I'm attorney Gil Thompson, and I want to provide you with the best legal representation.
I'm so glad I found the Kick Above. It's like my very own personal training studio. A Kick Above removed the guesswork and intimidation and offered me a very supportive and structured environment specific to my personal.
Y'all are going to enjoy this piece by Martellus Bennett. If y'all want to see the full article, go out to my wall, and it's there. It is an excellent article. And this is coming from a black person who plays sports through elementary school.
Y'all are going to enjoy this piece by Martellus Bennett. If y'all want to see the full article, go out to my wall, and it's there. It is an excellent, excellent article.
Lived up to my potential.
And this is coming from a black person who plays sports through elementary school, junior high, high school, and college. This is on point.
This is an excellent.
In fact, I don't feel like I really lived up to my potential. Not as an athlete, but as a black male. When I look back on my life.
Call, click, or come by.
All right.
Mitchell
Welcome back to the show.
This is an excellent, excellent
article. On the phone, 855. I think Robert dropped off for a minute. We'll get him back here in a moment. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me. I want to read a little bit of this article by Martellus Bennett.
All right, welcome back to the show. Dave Coleman in the house, Robert Webb's on the phone, 855. I think Robert has dropped off for a minute. We'll get him back here in a moment. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me.
To be pigeonholed.
I want to read a little bit of this article by Martellus Bennett. Martellus Bennett is a well-accomplished millionaire. He also now writes children's books for black males.
And we're unabashedly supporting
And
Kaepernick.
although Martellus Bennett was a professional football player, he refused
the name of this article is Beyond
to be
the Game.
pigeonholed into something that he wasn't. In fact, the Bennett brothers were the main brothers who were supporting Colin Kaepernick when nobody else would.
What if we?
And were unabashedly supporting Colin Kaepernick.
I relate to this.
The name of this article, okay, Robert.
Although I had
the name of this article is Beyond the Game. Teach black boys sports. Let me make sure I get the right article here. We teach black boys sports are their only hope. What if we
I played football literally all
let
my
them
life,
dream
even
bigger?
Before I played organized football. My
I relate to this article.
Fifth grade, we had.
Although I had people telling me about my intelligence,
on the Southwest.
I couldn't see that for my desire to play
Then I
football.
moved on to Dunbar and I played football.
Started playing football when I was in
And I moved on to Central and played football.
I played football literally all my life, even before I played organized football. My elementary school in the 5th grade, we had a touch football team. Then I moved on to Southwest, a middle school, and played football for Southwest. Then I moved on to Dunbar and I played football for Dunbar.
Plenty of others.
Then I moved on to Central and played football for Central. Ended up being team captain. We were undefeated state champs. You know, you hear me talk a lot. You just heard me say it earlier. My name proudly is on a trophy in Little Rock Central. That's one of my proudest accomplishments. Now I've had plenty of others,
I took classes with
but to be able to leave my name in that historic school was a big deal to me.
Most of my friends.
All the while I was doing that, I was highly intelligent. Not many people realized it.
But no one.
I didn't take classes with my friends.
To pull that which was the best of me.
I took classes with mostly white folks. Because, you know, white folks were in those advanced courses.
My dream.
Most of my friends were just in remedial or regular courses.
Play in the NFL. That dream was.
But no one
once I realized
really sought to pull that which was the best of me out of me.
Because there was this league called the USFL, the United States Football League.
My dream, like most black kids, black boys, was to play in the NFL.
Don't make it to the NFL.
That dream was denied once I realized that I wasn't big enough and I wasn't fast enough. But then I had hope. Because there was this league called the USFL, the United States Football League, that was rivaling the NFL. And I thought maybe if I don't make it to the NFL,